In this first one today, we're first going to cover thumb tip gestures. And these are important because these are my modern takes on how you can really hide the thumb tip in plain view. Assuming, you know, it's decently about the same color or, you know, color of your skin or whatever. You know, they say it should never be important, and I know there's older guys who will just say, hey, it should never even be seen, you know, and they hide a black or purple thumb tip when they have very pale to white hands. Yeah, I get that. I really get that, but we want to make it more modern, so it's not like always hidden like this, but rather out in the open so no one can even see it. And that's what I want to cover today. So get excited. We're first going to go into the gestures, and then in the upcoming videos, we're going to cover some of my favorite thumb tip effects. Not all of them, but most of them. So let's get to it. We've got a lot to cover in a little time, so let's get to it. The first one is the pointing gesture. It simply looks like this. You're just pointing at them, casually talking, making sure the thumb tip, in this case, as you've read in other magic books, I'll be referencing them at the description below, making sure the tip of the thumb is always outward so the rest of the thumb tip cannot be seen. So you always want to keep this tip here. With that in context, you can be able to do that, but they never mentioned just a pointing gesture, just a casual pointing gesture. I've done this at the Magic Castle, and this gets by everyone, you know. So you can be, you know, doing this kind of gesture very freely, no one will see it, but this kind of pointing gestures, you know, as you're casual talk as spectator, you point at them or gesture at them. This is unseen. No one will see it. It's so great. So that's the first one. I decided it might be easier if I just do it more visually up here so you can see it rather than down at the close-up table. The next one is actually a vanish, and this is the one I commonly use, something I invented, and it actually gives a very, very direct sense of fairness. Okay? And the action will actually look like this. You can show your hands empty. Okay, got the coin. This is just a very average quarter. Don't worry about it. Get it, put it inside the hand. No, it really does go inside the hand. You can see it very clearly. Push it inside, and then you can give it a wave, and it's gone. That easy. And let's get to it. In this case, we've got a thumb tip. I prefer to use not the ones used for dollar bill switches, which is the classic thumb tip, the classic size, but I tend to use something more pliable, such as rubber ones. You could buy them from China during the coronavirus. I know, crazy. But you can just find them at your local store. The rubber ones, they're much softer, pliable, they spongy. It's much easier to work with. So when you insert the quarter inside, you know, you could have more to work with, and they're a little bit easier to get out in many cases. Or you can use these are harder to find, but soft, like king size thumb tips. They're a little bit extra long, and they can get longer loads, and they can bend as well. So soft king size ones are also great. They're my favorites personally. And then vanish, and then you can easily get the coin out. Pop, there you go. So as to the gesture, so thumb tips aside, to the actual gesture, we got the coin. Okay, I'm using a rubber one because I like rubber ones. They're amazing. Okay, you could gesture. You could hold it out like this. Make sure your thumb is towards the audience. Okay, and you could be a little bit more free if you want. You know, though it's weird because your thumb's only this long. It should be closer technically. So that's why I tend to have my other fingers just hiding it. Just a safety measure, precaution. At that point, we have our other hand empty. We can do this. You can take the coin in the opposite hand, display it, take it back. You got your hands free, whatever. Then you take the coin and the thumb tip into the opposite hand where it's awaiting, empty, and it closes around it. And the coin's being held by the first and second finger. Okay, other fingers are just chilling. Goes inside. First finger, second finger, and thumb. Coin right here. All go inside, and then as it's going inside, the first and second finger are pulling back on that coin, scaling it down from the thumb tip from here to here. Okay? So in actuality, when it goes inside the hand, only the thumb tip goes inside. Okay? So it looks like this in open, revealed fashion. Hand closes on it, and pulls off the thumb tip, and the coin comes out. I'll do that again. Here we are. hand comes in motion, fingers pull it back, hand closes around thumb, and pulls out the coin. In real-time speed, without revealing it, it looks like this, okay? And you pull it, you get the coin right here. Thumb tip is right here, okay? You can do an Aaron Fisher gesture if you want. You can have your hand, and this is something I saw in this conjure community when I was a part of it. You can first finger and thumb hold it, grip in a loose sense like it's dead weight. He just has it right here. Kind of eventually gets awkward after a while, even though it is natural, I guess. If it was truly relaxed, you wouldn't even have it up here. It'd just be down here at the side. I get it. But in the context, I'm just like, you pull out your hand, it's a tight fist, they know something's going to happen, but you're also showing it for fairness, so there can be tension in this context. It's fair. So, we got the coin. We've done, I'll go catch us up to speed. Showed it, pull it, thumb tip off, show the coin, quarter. Now we say, we're just displaying again, making sure it really is the quarter is going inside, or again, just showing it off, or just to be sure, whatever. As you insert it back inside, first finger and thumb go inside. Thumb pushes the coin, if you can capture, I'm not sure if you can capture it, but thumb pushes the coin inside the thumb tip. Four fingers right here, gripping it right here. So going along, and it's pushing deeper into the hand, like it's pushing right here. So it's like it goes inside, or make sure it goes inside. Your thumb is pushing like a tuck, making sure. The thumb tip is already on and it went out. So in action, let me redo it to make sure everything is all cut to speed. Okay, we displayed it one last time. Goes inside, exposed view. Finger your thumb, goes inside. This helps keep the grip. Forefinger does a little one last poke. It does one last poke, as in the Darwin series. Darwin, you know, the encyclopedia of thumb tip magic. So pushes inside. You've already stolen it off. You're just pushing it. There's nothing inside here, but you're just selling it. You can give it a wave if you want. Little wave gesture on the side. Covers the whole thumb tip if you just do this. You have a little wave gesture right here. And then you can actually do an Aaron Fisher gesture, which is really cool. I really liked his gesture. All credit goes to him. You can do this gesture. Boom, boom. And because it's in fast motion, people cannot, they're looking for the object, they're not looking for the thumb tip. And the mind cannot facially recognize it as something. They see it, but they cannot recognize it as something bad or that's the trick. So they can't catch it. I'll do one last gesture right here. Give a thumb here. So boom, you're all set. Kind of cool. So that is the whole thing. And up to speed one last time, just for fun. I love doing this thing. It's so cool. It's called the Rico's insertion. Put it right here, pull it back, show it one last time, push it inside, push. You can show your hand's empty, it's gone. People may think that you're sleeving, pull those back. You can do an instance gesture as you're pulling back your sleeve. You're making sure this hand is clean. Ooh, specters are destroyed. The next one I want to cover is the thumb tip exchange based off Aaron Fisher's work. And it basically looks like this. You just, did your stuff, you did a little bit of magic, and you just want to take a break, and so you're just doing this, and there you go. And in essence, I traded the thumb tip from my left thumb to my right thumb. Not in the correct position, God, this would look weird, but you're able to maneuver it and use it, need it be. The thumb tip doesn't have to be always correct. If you want to keep it outside of mind, you can just do this, or keep it hidden. And it's mostly a utility device more than an actual thumb in many contexts. But this allows you to transfer the thumb tip secretly from one hand to another. So let's get to it. In this way, we're going to use Aaron Fisher's. This is the basis, comes from Aaron Fisher's idea, keeping your hand limp, and only in his context when he was inserting a silk, he would actually push it inside, and then his hand would grip around it, not starting from this grip position where we know the silk, if I may use a context, if you did this and push it inside, everyone knows using a thumb tip. But he tried to delay or remove that idea by having the hand open and then already starting to insert it and then starting to grip around it and then vanish it, which was his work on that. In my idea, I want to be able to do a lot of free gestures. I want to have a lot of maneuverability because I don't want to feel like, what can I have a thumb tip. What can I do with it? But I want to be able to vanish things and then maneuver it to whatever I need to be. So let's say you got the thumb tip on, you need to get rid of it, or you want to swap hands, or it calls for an effect, whatever you need. In this essence, you'd be relaxed, be hands down your side, and what you're doing is you're removing the thumb, using your pinky, other fingers, popping it off. Okay? The rule is generally you don't want it past your fingernail. I don't really care. I tend to go past it, but that's just me. That's just me. So now that we've got it, popped it off, thumb right here. Okay, we now change it to Aaron Fisher's gesture. So it's right here, like this. Now we grip it between like a thumb palm. It's basically a thumb palm. Yeah, that's really what it is. It's thumb palm between the first finger and thumb, and that's all that really holds it. Okay, it's down right here at your side. It's supposed to be at your side, but because the camera, I'm one person here. Well, I'm going to leave it up here, but you do not keep it up here unless you're Aaron Fisher. You keep it down at your side, relaxing. Okay, so we got it up here. And when your hands come together, like you're praying, the gesture or idea is like you're praying. So your hands come together, they meet like an equipment. Equipment means where the hands meet to do some gesture, some sneaky work. Your hand comes casually goes inside the thumb tip, gets it, just enough to get your fingernail out. Once you got it on the fingernail, you got enough grip, okay? So, hands casually come together. No one can see anything. Thumb casually comes together. You'd be more down your side just doing this, but again, angles so you can see my pretty little face. Okay, we got it right here. Thumb comes in, hits it, okay, and then you can make sure you cover for the thumb tip. Just make sure you cover. You have to practice in the mirror. You can cover for a prayer, or snap, crackle your fingers, whatever you want. In real time, it looks like this. Not like this. It'd be down your side, but as close as I can get it, okay? There we go. There we go, in action, okay? And then relax, and you've switched or exchanged thumb tip from your left thumb to your right thumb. One last time just for fun, okay? We have it down our side, okay? Hand comes up to go pray, did this, and now you've got the thumb tip right here. Awkward, but you've got it so you can use it to vanish things into. And that is the thumb tip exchange based off of tips of Aaron Fisher. The next one is a knuckle cracking. Oh, this will be fun for most of you guys, and maybe females who like cracking their knuckles. And the steel. So first the gesture and then the steel. Gesture would just look like this. You have your thumb right here, okay? I'm left-handed. You can mirror me. For right-handers, you're fine. Okay, so we're just cracking your knuckles. And during this whole gesture, you notice that the thumb tip, I've been searching for ways to make this thumb tip, make it more casual. That's something I would normally do, just cracking knuckles. And during this whole way through, I noticed that the thumb is covered. So, cracking knuckles, practice in the mirror so you can make sure your angles are all good. You don't want to do a casual gesture like this, and then you're just like leaving this whole thumb tip open. But just the knuckle cracking, and you really got your thumb tip secretly hidden the whole way through. And that is the gesture. Now onto the steel, this gets a little bit of fun. You're like, oh, there's a steel to this? Yeah. So we got it in the same position. And just like we're cracking our thumbs, we're going to do the same cracking gesture, but steel at the same time. It's in the Aaron Fisher thumb palm gesture. Hands laid in like this. Okay, so you got it off. So let's say you need to change hands. Get it off. Get into the thumb palm position. Yay. And then your hand comes together like it's going to crack itself, like cracking knuckles. You can first do the real one right here, and then your thumb can come in really at any time. It can come together when it's first cracking the knuckles, and you got it. Make sure you don't do this. Practice in the mirror. So you can come together like cracking, and then you stole it out. Another is that you can do it just actual cracking like this. And at the end, you could still it off. It really is up to you. You still it when it's most comfortable for you or when the heat isn't on you. Or if the heat is on you, just find a convenient time to just do it casually. The more casual you are with the gestures, it's only with the tension that people zoom in on it. So if you do it casually, just come together and do it, steal it off. You're good. You're Gucci. And that's the steal from one hand to another. It's an exchange. And you do it while cracking your knuckles, something you probably already do. So that is the innocent knuckle cracking gesture and steel. There you go. Now this one, I think you'll have a lot of fun with. Let me get smaller objects to make sure this will work out. Let's use nickel. Okay. This one is called the thumb tip sleeve and removal gesture. It accomplishes 3 things in one. It can be used to gesture casually, the thumb tip. It can be used to steal and unload, all at the same gesture, depending on how you use it. So let's first go for context that we want. We've got a object, let's say a nickel. We've got a nickel inside there. Okay, something we vanished, whatever. We borrowed a nickel, vanished it. Okay, and one way we can show our thumb tip empty is we vanished it. I'll just actually do the action. Let's just get to the performance of it. Okay, here we go. Show a nickel. Okay, really is a nickel. We get the nickel, and well, we don't even need to do the sleeves yet. We show a nickel. Okay, we get the nickel, and now we do the Rico's insertion. Vanishes, and you can actually see no sleeving involved. Thank you. So going back to the effect of this, or the explanation, we do the insertion. We imagine we've already done the insertion, which we covered earlier, and did the vanish application to actual effect. Now we're in this position. Now assuming we have sleeves, you could pretend, if you don't have sleeves, you could pretend I'm rolling my invisible sleeves as a gesture to make sure this thumb tip is fine. We vanish it, and it's vanished. We did the gesture, vanished, Aaron Fisher style. And then we can use our thumb, first finger, second finger, to pull back our sleeve. Make sure we're removing the idea of sleeving. You're canceling out a method while showing your hands empty. And what the second one, sleeve, you can pull it back and just have your fingers catch it right here. No one's looking for it. Okay, there's like, how did it go? We're looking for the actual nickel, not the thumb tip. And that gesture is what helps out. Now this gesture can be taken further outside of this context. Let's say we want to unload something. Let's say we got the nickel inside. We can actually do it as a steal. Okay. We notice that our hands, this is based off the Di Vernon idea where he was trying to meet a gambler, get his secrets, and he had to use a palm card, if I may. I believe I forgot which was Chronicles Volume 1 or something. To be able to transfer the card from hand to hand secretly. And what he would do is, as he's going to check the time on his watch, this is where it was based off of, his hand would come underneath and swap the palm card from this hand to the other as he was looking at the time. And then he can re-swap the card back, need be, and just to pull back his sleeves, and that was how that was accomplished. That is directly the basis for this next piece, or this next idea. So in the same way that we're going across to lift up our sleeves, or whatever the context you want to make up, thumb comes on over, okay, and just briefly, okay, you make sure you have it, in this case, rarely, you really do keep it on the fingernail so it comes off easy. Your hands casually, not with tension, casually come on over, then unloads the thumb tip, keeping it in the thumb palm, the Aaron Fisher style thumb palm right here, okay, as we cleanly can actually pull up our sleeve, and then we can pull it back on as we go into our sleeve, other sleeve right here. Okay, so again, we got our thumb tip, casual right here. Okay, it's just on the fingers, it's not in the thumb palm. No, it's just right here, chilling on the fingernail. As our hands come together for a brief equipment, grip right here, pull it off as we pull up our sleeves, and then show our hands. And then you can put it back on if you want, get it right here, or you can, as you're coming for the other sleeve, which is right here, you can put it back on the hand so you get it back to its original position, showing your hands truly empty. Not really necessary, but looks cool. That's an idea. The third idea is actually getting the object, whatever's inside, out into the hand. This is an unloading technique which is new, and I think it might be a game changer to the thumb tip work. So in this idea, we've got it. Let me lower the sleeves. I should first do a second action of the exchange or steal from one hand to another before we move on to the third one. Again, one last time. It's right here already. Okay, and I'll actually do it in real time. There we go. There we go. we're all good. That's part A of the second part. And then the second part of the steel gesture, real fast in real time, looks like this. Okay, let me put that one up there and this one up here, and we're all good. Okay, and that in that way you show your hands completely empty, fairness, you're great. On to the third part, which is the unloading. So as we've already covered, comes over here and we're pulling up the sleeve. Okay, now as we're coming over to, like, just briefly, like, realigning ourselves to come over here to pull back the sleeve, thumb tip's still over here, but it puts yourself in a unique position. This is really unique, and I might be the first one to post on this, or ever. I've never seen this before. As you're coming over to the other hand to pull back the sleeve, you can briefly shoot that object that's inside the thumb tip and unload it into the opposite hand. And assuming there's an object on the table you can transform it into, you've now set up yourself for a really good position. You got the object in your hand. Thumb tip that had something is now unloaded, and then you can just casually, pull down your sleeves after showing it, and now you're set up in a really good position where instead of going inside both your pockets and then pulling out objects and then transfer the thumb tip, this is another option. You can do it all in one, and it's a very experimental gesture, but I feel it's really cool. So in action, it would look like this. Okay, let me actually pull up my sleeve. Okay, let me actually pull up my sleeve. Sorry, my hands are so strict. Let's get into it, and then now you've got the thumb tip in one, coin and finger in the other, and you can do a another equipment based or hand washing gesture based off Jay Noblezad's work, where you can just literally drop the thumb tip from the thumb palm into the hand as you swipe up your hand to show it clean. You have to be careful on angles. You have to practice in front of the mirror, but you can do this, and then you're ready. You put it into thumb palm with casual gestures, hands at your side. You're basically look calm as all hell, and you're really set up to be able to vanish whatever that object is. You can do this, grab the object on the table, show it's a silk in this context, push inside. I'm doing this in reverse. This is weird for me, but I'm still going to do it anyway. There we go. Get inside. Okay. And give it a wave and a snap if you want. And then you can show the object is a coin. And that's the context of how you can use the thumb tip, sleeve, and removal and unloading gesture all in one. It's complicated. I know it was a lot, but I hope that helps in some way. Thank you. So I know that was a lot of work. I know some of these gestures will be useful to you. You'll take at least one, and that's my goal. Just take one gesture you really like, add it to your repertoire, so you can make your hand movements more natural, more fluid. You don't feel so restrictive. You're like, oh, a thumb tip? What do I do with this? I don't know what to do. But now you feel like you can be more fluid. You can point. You can do gestures if you want. Gestures, just flashing so you can know the contrast. And so you can feel more comfortable with it, and so you can make thumb tip more magical, because I felt it was stopped and limited because of, the context of it having to be correct, straight up, limitations. And I'm going to slowly unlimit all the gauges that thumb tip magic feels is limited by, and make it what it was supposed to be, or in Gary Darwin's case, something amazing. And I'm going to pass, I've got the torch, and I'm going to pass it on to the next generation, giving up all my ideas and making thumb tip magic as great as it should be. It's really real magic. Being able to just I gotta do it. It's just so cool. Being able to just get $1, okay? Yay, $1. Cool, not much. And just being able to get it, and just be able to which way is this? Do a vanish like so. Okay, showing it, just push inside, and being able to vanish it just like that, that's amazing. That's the essence of real magic, I think, anyways. So, hope you enjoyed the tips, and in next video we'll talk about some actual tricks using a thumb tip. Thank you.